What is our best and worst ability as human beings? Pag-usapan natin yan in this new Trying Hard podcast episode. Alright, and welcome to a new episode of Trying Hard with Lyqa podcast. Maraming salamat sa pagsama. Kung hindi pa kayo naka-follow sa podcast, go ahead and do that. This is where we talk about the personal things. So, kung naghahanap kayo ng grammar lesson or math lesson, this is not the right place for you. I do have the Team Lyqa YouTube channel and the TikTok channel that you can follow. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook as well. Pero dito, we talk about the real things. Well, real din naman ang math. Pero I mean, the personal things, mga thoughts ko about life, mga takeaways ko from my personal experiences, at marami pang iba. Okay? Now, preface ko na rin ito by saying that if I ever talk about negative experiences or struggles or anything like that, most of them, tapos naman na. Pinupulot lang natin yung aral na makukuha natin from that. Not to put other people down or para sila ng ibang tao. As you notice, hindi ko naman pinapangalanan. Tsaka I try to give as few details as possible. Ang point natin dito is sana hindi siya masayang. Sana magamit siya para kapulutan ng aral ng iba. Okay? So ano nga ang best and worst human ability? Okay? Sa akin, ang sagot ko dyan ay our ability to adapt. Our ability to adapt. Adapt as in A-D-A-P-T ha. To adapt to circumstances, to situations, or our ability to change a little bit, to make adjustments, to compromise doon sa nangyayari sa sitwasyon, sa people around us, at sa mga nangyayari sa atin. And why do I call it the best and worst of human ability? Kasi, itong skill na ito, itong bagay na to, can either save you or eventually destroy you. Now, let's talk about yung pag-adapt muna to bad things. Okay? Yeah, it's true. We can adapt to bad situations. And there are creative ways that we can adapt. If you adhere sa evolution, which I still have my own discourse about that. Pero if you have read any of the scientific journals, the books, talking about evolution, grounded yan dun sa ability natin to adapt. Hindi lang naman tayo, but creatures in general, uh, depende sa environment, depende sa needs, depende sa weather, sa sitwasyon, sa predators, at marami pang iba. Nag-a-adapt tayo. Yung mga hindi makapag-adapt, they would die. Yung mga nakapag-adapt or meron itong mga certain tweaks sa pagkatao nila, sa abilities nila, sa skill set nila, sila yung nagsusurvive and then they populate the earth. So that's the idea there. But even if you don't believe in, say, evolution, or if you don't believe in that, na yun yung naging paraan kung paano nagkaroon ng tao, hindi yun ang discussion natin today. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is we all acknowledge that human beings adapt, right? And you probably already adapted to something in your life. Whether bata ka o matanda, may mga sitwasyon tayo sa buhay na nung nailagay tayo sa sitwasyon na yun, hindi maganda, hindi pleasant. Minsan nasa verge tayo ng extinction din. Yung parang talagang hindi mo na talaga kakayanin. Pero for some reason, we muster up enough courage, we get to a certain point na nasusurvive natin yon. Human beings adapt to bad things. And that's supposed to be a good thing, right? It's a good thing kasi it ensures that we survive. It ensures na we do well enough para may susunod na generation sa atin. Human beings adapt and it's a good thing. Well, or should I say it could be a good thing. It could be kasi hindi rin siya absolute. Why do I say that? Kasi the flip side of adapting to bad things is this. You know how yung ano ba, Batman quote or the Dark Knight quote goes? Parang it's either you die a hero or you live long enough to be a villain or to turn into a villain. That is also a possibility. There are people in life I've met. I would say I've even become this person in moments sa aking buhay. Na yung pumasok tayo sa isang sistema, sa isang sitwasyon, hindi siya maganda, hindi tayo fit doon, masama yung sitwasyon. And then over time, instead of adapting just to survive, we take on the negative traits the negative na sistema, the negative culture. One of the things I talked about before in our earlier episodes, so kung bago kayo, you can listen to the other episodes, is how when I was young, I was bullied. And then, I would, parang revenge of the nerds type. When I was in third year high school, naging bully naman din ako. So, ang nangyayari minsan, di ba, nalagay tayo sa isang masamang sitwasyon. Ang nangyayari, imbis na maging mabuti yung sitwasyon with us in it, we adapt by being bad then, by fitting in dun sa masamang sitwasyon. That is one of the negative things that could come out of adapting to bad things. Another thing na possibility, and this is a sad reality kasi most people do this. And most people are not aware that they do this. Kasi nga again, we adapt to survive. And it's adapting even when there are things that need to change. Minsan hindi naman tayo nagiging masama when we adapt. Although again, possibility yan. Pero may mga tao rin na hindi naman sila naging masama, pero tinanggap na lang nila na gano'n yung sitwasyon. Adaptation to them means shrugging things off. Alam mo yun, hayaan mo na. It is what it is. Don't rock the boat. Like all of these things that, again, I went through, still go through sometimes. Yung parang kahit masama yung nangyayari, to save yourself, diba? To adapt nga, sumasama yung mga panahon, wag ka na lang lumabas, wag ka na lang magsalita, wag kang gagawa ng kahit ano para mailigtas mo yung sarili mo. So what happens when we adapt to bad things by ignoring the things that need to change? Well, ang sagot would be, wala talaga magbabago. And it is, again, our best ability kasi it ensures the survival of the species. But it's also our worst ability because even in bad situations, mamimihasa tayo, masasanay tayo. Don't underestimate your ability to get used to a bad situation. I'm saying that not to put the blame on people na nandun sa hindi magandang sitwasyon, ha. If you find yourself in a toxic, sabihin natin, work culture, family culture, toxic relationship, I'm not saying it's your fault. Hindi yun ang gusto kong ipahatid dito. But what I'm saying is, hindi mo dapat i-underestimate yung kakayanan mo na magtiis to the point na may pwede ka palang gawin, hindi mo na siya gagawin. Kasi yung bad situation, naging comfortable na siya. Now, you may ask me, hala, ate, pwede ba yun? Pwede ka bang maging comfortable sa isang bad situation? Let me give you an example, okay? Something that I think everyone can at least relate to. You know how sometimes, lalabas tayo ng bahay, tas sobrang init niya. Pero pag mga 2 oras, 3 oras ka na dun sa initan, parang nasanay na lang yung katawan mo. Parang okay na. Nag-regulate na yung katawan mo sa temperature, okay na, hindi na rin masama. Tapos, sa totoo lang, kapag pumasok ka bigla sa malamig na lugar, bigla kang giniginaw ka to the point na feeling mo may mali. Kahit na yung lamig na yun okay lang naman. That is a lot like going through a bad situation, adapting to a bad situation, and then experiencing a good situation. Sometimes, good situations feel like bad situations simply because sanay ka sa bad situation. For example, sa akin, again, kapag may nagko-compliment sa akin, when someone tells me na, you know what, your voice gives me comfort, nakakatulog ako sa gabi hearing your voice, all of these things. When I started hearing positive things about myself, it used to send me into a panicked state. Sobrang feeling ko may mali. May mali ba? Kasi bakit nila sinasabi ito tungkol sa akin? May gusto ba silang, may ulterior motive ba sila? May gusto ba silang gawin ko? Meron ba silang, bakit may motibo ba sila? Ba't nila sinasabi itong mga bagay na to sa akin? May mali ba akong ginawa? Feeling ko may mali akong ginawa because people were complimenting me or appreciating me. And why was I so perplexed or why was I so confused that people appreciate me now? Well, it's because I was so used to being in an environment where if magsasalita ako, it's a bad thing. If I call someone out, it's a bad thing. If I tell people na kaya mo yan, I believe in you, it's a bad thing. Nagagalit sila, nasasaktan sila, ayaw nila nun. ayaw nila sa akin. That is how terrible it could be when we get used to bad situations. Now, physically naman, alam niyo yung mga massage slippers? Kung bata kami nauso yun yung may bumps sa ilalim na massage slippers. Pag una mo yung sinuot, ang sakit. Ang sakit talaga. As in, parang yung sinasabi nila na umalis yung kaluluwa mo sa katawan mo. Sobrang sakit nga. Pero bakit may mga tao, na sanay sila na yun yung tsinelas nila. Pag hindi na yung tsinelas nila, they feel uncomfortable. Kasi nga again, nasanay na sila dun sa pain and discomfort ng sitwasyon na yun. Pag binigyan mo sila ng Crocs, binigyan mo sila ng flat na sapatos, sila naman yung mahihirapan. Kasi sanay na sila dun sa hindi komportable, doon sa masakit. So again, that is one of the reasons why adaptation is one of our best and worst, and hindi one of the, sa akin, it's our best and worst human ability. Now, let's talk about the next one. But before we do that, let's just take a quick little break.
I haven't been posting a lot of videos lately, and here's why. This is the official planner para sa mga tryhards. I created this planner with one goal, which is to make a planner that's good enough for you to destroy. Anong ibig sabihin ko dyan? Alam ko yung feeling na bagong-bago yung planner mo, mabango pa, at dahil ang ganda-ganda niya, parang ayaw mong sulatan. Kaya I wanted something na pagkahawak ninyo, gustong-gusto nyo ng simulan na sulatan kahit pangit ang handwriting mo o wala kang maisulat. This planner is undated, parang ikaw. Which means you can start using it or stop using it whenever. Hanggat may space pa siya. This planner may also be the best worst looking planner you'll ever get. Anong ibig sabihin ko dyan? This planner comes with its own ink stains, coffee stains, doodles, at kung ano-ano pa para hindi ka ma-threaten. Kasi nga, di ba, mabuti nang magulo yung planner pero maayos yung buhay kesa maayos yung planner pero magulo yung buhay. Now, paano naman yung mga walang plano? Pwede rin to sa'yo. It includes its own set of activities para matulungan ka to find kahit one goal lang for this next year. So that's it. This is the I don't just try, I try hard planner for tryhards like me. And whether you're using this planner, another type of planner, old pages from old notebooks, or printouts like I did before, what matters most is not the planner itself, but how you use it. Use it well.
Get yours today by messaging the Lyqa Maravilla Facebook page.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. Parang ang sabi ko yata, quick little break, no? Pero little break yun. Bulol pa rin siya. Okay. But anyway, I talked about how we adapt to bad things. Now, this next part, something that may not have crossed your mind. But if you did, then cool, hindi ako nag-iisa. Pero I think bata pa ako, sinulat ko na to sa, hindi I think, totoo yun. Sinulat ko na to sa journal ko, even as a kid. That it's terrible that human beings adapt to good things as well. Now, why is it a bad thing that we adapt to good things or good situations? It's because of this, okay? Anything na too much is wrong. Pero before we do that, pag-usapan muna natin really quickly why it's a good thing. Di ba? Ganun din naman, di ba? Hindi naman lahat ng pinanganak na sabihin natin nasa wealthy household, mananatili doon sa ganong klaseng lifestyle or hindi pa rin sila confident or hindi pa rin sila outspoken, di ba? Pag may mga good things in life, nasasanay din tayo, nakaka-change din tayo. If nalagay tayo sa mga situations where we have opportunities, we can shine, we can adapt to good things. Ibig sabihin, we improve, right? Pero bakit hindi maganda minsan pag sumobra when we adapt to good things? Here's why. Because sometimes you adapt so well, you get so used to good things, to the good situation that you're in right now, that you end up not appreciating what you have right now that you didn't have before. You know, there's this trend sa TikTok, sa Reels, nakita ko na to multiple times, of people saying, or using a sound na nagsasabi na, look around and you will find that yung may at least one thing in your life right now that you only dreamt about before. Why do we need reminders like that? We need reminders like that because it's true. Ako nga, just looking around this studio ha, kasi syempre, araw-araw ko na tong halos pinupuntahan since lumipat ako dito sa bat cave ko or sa aking clock tower. Nung nagsisimula, as in, I would always, almost on a daily basis, be in awe na parang, oh wow, pwede na to, akin to. Pwede akong mag-film, pwede akong gumawa ng sarili kong mga gustong gawin. Pwede kong punuin tong space na to ng mga bagay na gusto ko. Pero over time, after a year, bumalik yung feeling na, naku, pag-akit ako sa office, magtatrabaho na naman ako. May mga kailangan akong harapin na hindi ko pa gustong gawin, hindi ko pa gustong gawin, hindi ko gustong ilagay yung sarili ko sa ganung uncomfortable na situation. Again, when we forget kung saan tayo nanggaling, or when we forget we fail to acknowledge the good things around us that nawala noon, ang tendency nagiging ungrateful tayo or nawawalan sila ng dating sa atin. Nawawalan sila ng positive na effect sa atin. Which is sad. Kasi all of us actually on a daily basis need a pick-me-up, no? Of some sort. And what I've been doing now, and it's really helpful for me, and I'm sharing it with you, kasi I'm hoping it helps you too, is I look around this room and I find at least one thing. And then I remember when I got it. I remember when I used to like just look at it and now I have it. I look at, the jar of salamat that I have. I look at all of the things. My camera may represent work. This mic may represent work para sa akin. But man, I have a Shure, di ba? I have a Shure mic. And I didn't have this before. If you don't know this yet, meron akong isa pang podcast, yung una kong podcast, yung Get Hired Podcast. And alam niyo kung saan ko nirecord yung mga first episodes nun? Nirecord ko siya nang nakahawak ako sa phone ko. Tapos nakatapat yung phone ko sa bibig ko. Kasi wala naman akong microphone, wala akong gamit, wala akong pang-edit, wala akong, alam mo yun, sound panel, lahat ng meron ako ngayon, wala yan lahat noon. And now, again, just holding this, and yes, I chose to hold it instead of put it sa stand niya ngayon, just makes me smile. It makes me happy. It's a reminder of how far I've come. Ano na yung nabiyahe natin. Yun nga sinasabi ng iba na, di ba, malayo pa pero malayo na. So yeah, why is adaptation bad? Why can it be the worst human ability? It's because even sa good things, we end up adapting to those. And the thing about that, kung i-escalate pa natin, kapag nasanay ka na rin sa, sabihin natin, the good life, di ba? Nasanay ka na sa kung ano yung meron ka. Dahil hindi naman tayo laging satisfied, you end up wanting more. You end up being unhappy with what you have right now, chasing after new things, bigger things, kahit na hindi naman siya dapat para sa'yo. Or kahit nakikita mo lang na meron kasi yung iba. Or kahit na hindi mo naman pala siya magugustuhan talaga pag hawak mo na siya. So, the challenge here is to look at our ability to adapt. Not just as purely a strength, na parang, okay, it's a good thing that we adapt. But we also have to acknowledge the possibility na because we are so good at adaptation, may mga bagay na tayong kailangan baguhin na hindi natin nababago. May mga bagay tayong hindi na-appreciate. May mga bagay tayong hinahabol na hindi naman pala natin kailangan habulin. And again, ang challenge naman dito sa podcast na to all the time is self-awareness. So I'm not going to tell you how to live your life or which of these things speak to you. But I'm hoping that this leads you to re-examine your life. Maybe write a journal entry about it, respond to it. Think of things you have now, the situation you are in, and then really be honest with yourself as to whether it's a bad thing, it's a good thing, is it good adaptation or bad adaptation. Diba? So, yan muna. Iiwan ko sa inyo. Let's keep this episode short. Maraming salamat sa pag-follow sa podcast, sa pag-share sa inyong friends, sa pag-respond, sa pag-DM, all of those things I appreciate. And lagi naman natin sinasabi dito sa podcast na ito, di ba? Bilang mga trying hard tayong lahat, dream big, work hard, start now, and don't let those who call you a try hard keep you from actually trying hard. It is in the trying that we end up being. And I want you to be more. All right? I'll talk to you next time.